I show everyday people how to take their ideas, create valuable products and services, raise their prices, and get raving customers that can't wait to do business with them. And I do all those in 4 simple steps. I want to help you. I want to change your life. I want to change your relationships. I want to change your business. And these are the principles of economics, and you're watching EKAnomics TV. Everybody, hello, good afternoon, good morning, Lahaim, wherever you are, wherever you're watching this. I really appreciate you watching this today. This is another episode 5 of EKAnomics TV, where we focus on your mission, your mindset, and your money. The whole purpose and the philosophy of economics is to have congruency in your life. And the only way you can have congruency is if you handle these 3 particular things. That's it. If no ifs, ands, or buts. If you're wealthy and you don't have a good mindset and good mission, your life turns to shit. If you have a good mindset, but you don't have a mission or a purpose to go somewhere, your money's going to fall off. Everything else in your life and your relationships tend to fall off. So every single week I come to you because I want to help you. I want to help you grow with your mission. I want to help you grow with your mindset, having consistency in action and momentum. And I also want to help you with your money. You guys may or may not know who I am, and if you don't know who I am, it's my fault. I'm a CPA, best-selling author, international best-selling author of Start Me Up, No Business Plan. I'm also a certified professional coach, in case you were wondering, and I'm known as the Prince of Pricing and Prospecting because we help companies through economics and the EKAnomics Academy to find more customers and clients and also close those through sales and through an actual using a sales process that's indicative and best for them. Now, today's episode is about the concept and the idea of burnout. Now, you're probably wondering why that matters and why we think about that. Well, every single day, we see this all the time, people talking about burnout, talking about how I'm tired of working and you work too hard. And if you're not careful, you're going to watch a lot of people talking about hustle all day freaking long. All they're talking about is I got to hustle, I got to grind. If you go on Instagram, half of the memes and half of the images in your Instagram feed and your Facebook feed and Twitter feed are all people with nice, well-produced posts of people talking about hustle. If you're watching amazing guys like Gary Vee, I'm a great fan of Gary Vee. Met him a few times, talked to him a few times. Real nice guy, always nice to me. But he talks about hustle all the time too. A lot of guys talk about hustle. The problem is this. When you are hustling without a purpose or without a mission or without a why, that's when burnout comes in. So what prompted me to talk about this today is because a lot of people are tired, tired in their lives, tired with their relationships, tired with a lot of the things that they're doing today. And I used to be a member. I used to subscribe to Scientific American Mind. There's an amazing psychology publication, talks about autism, talks about the mind and the brain, behavioral science, brain science, and it's important when it comes to dealing with people. So how I relate this to business is very simple. If you know how people behave, your ability to sell to them and provide them with value, provide them with products and services tends to increase exponentially because you understand why they're doing what they're doing. We aren't logical. We operate a lot of times through emotion. So burnout, as a matter of fact, this was on the cover of this a couple years ago. Just don't beat it, thrive it. I think the article in this particular issue is absolute bullshit. And I'll tell you why. People talk about burnout all the time. And mainly when you reach burnout, you're tired. When you reach burnout, you're tired because you no longer have a passion or a purpose. And so let me leave you with this point before we go into break. And after this point, we're going to come back from break, and I'm going to give you why it exists. I'm also going to explain to you how to overcome it and some things to do. And as you're watching this, wherever you're watching this, whether it's Facebook or YouTube, wherever it is you end up seeing this, always remember to share, like, and subscribe. There should be, if you're watching this live, you should be able to call in. We'd love to have you on. I want to hear your episodes of burnout. I want to hear how you dealt with it and why you think it's happening to you. But let me leave you with this point before we go into break. When you lack purpose in what you're doing, Think about it when you were a child. You would work as much as you possibly can or play as much as you possibly can because you were excited about what you were doing. When you lack that passion for what you're doing, even if it's difficult, even if it's hard, even if you haven't achieved what you want to achieve, the likelihood of you being able to stick with it and wake up when difficulties arise tend to increase. If you can't get past that, if you no longer have the ability to focus on what you're trying to do, that's when burnout comes in. You get distracted. You've lost your purpose. You lost your focus. So when we come back from break, don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. When we come back from break, I'm going to give you some tips on how to deal with it. We're going to talk further about how you can overcome this. And I also want to take your calls so we can help you today. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Hey, so how do you like the show? I want to thank you for coming. More importantly, I want to ask you a simple question. Do you have any challenges in your life and currently in your business? Something that's keeping you up at night? Some obstacle that you're running into and you don't know how to overcome it? Tell you what, I want to help you. I want to talk to you. More importantly, I want to feature you in one of the future episodes of EKAnomics TV. And what we're going to do is have a quick conversation, share your ideas, and go over your challenges, as well as solve them on air live so people can watch it. Now, all you have to do is follow the link below to see if you're eligible to be a future guest of EKAnomics TV. And I can't wait to talk to you, but also take your business and all of your ideas to the next level. And we're back. Guys, thanks a lot for being here and giving your time, giving me your ear. Look, I realize that you could be doing anything else in the world, but you decided to spend some of your time with me today, so I'm humbled, and I'm also appreciative. Let's be very clear. Now, if you're watching, if you've missed the first part of the show, you're watching episode 5 of EKAnomics TV, and every week we talk about your mission, your mindset, your money, and the importance of the congruency of those three. If you want anything of value and purpose in your life, the main way in order for you to get that requires you to have congruency among those three areas. That's it. Every single person you know who's successful, they have a mission, they have a reason, they have a why, they get up in the morning, they have a purpose, right? Their mindset is clear. They don't allow negativity, bullshit, people giving them useless advice. They don't allow the media to confuse them and distract them. They don't allow, I don't care if you're a Republican or Democrat, they're not dealing with the bad news of the day. That doesn't permeate in their lives. I've mentioned this to so many people we've worked with, some of my clients I've talked to a lot about the importance of understanding your emotions. Emotions are contagious and they're infectious. If you don't figure out a way to create a wall and protect yourself, the likelihood of you being successful in what you're trying to accomplish tends to diminish. That's just the long and short of it. There's so many people you see in the news who have great talents and people hold them up on pedestals and they're very successful, but their mind is not where it needs to be in order to keep them at that place, right? A lot of times your character, right, doesn't have the strength to keep you where your talent took you. And so if you're not careful with that, if you don't have the proper mindset, the likelihood of you staying where you want to be tends to dwindle. And it's hard. It's like the reason why castles exist, because they're big, tall walls and a drawbridge for one entrance and one entrance only. That's it. If you can't stop rodents and other infestations from getting into your castle, the castle won't stand. And the final point is money. People talk about how money won't make you happy, but those who say money won't make you happy most likely don't have any money. That's just the long and short of it. Everybody who I've met who has money or who's building money or building wealth, they're smiling. They're on boats, they're on planes, they're on trains, they have nice automobiles, and they're always happy. Now, whatever nonsense that's going on in your life was already going on when you were poor. Just the wealth kind of exacerbated it. But for the most part, when you're worried about paying your bills next month, you can't make good decisions. When you're worried about whether or not your kids have shoes, you can't make good decisions. When you're worried about what you're going to eat today because that extra $10 for the steak is going to hurt your monthly budget, you cannot make good decisions. You will not take the risk that's required to build your life and build your business. You know, everybody's out here doing bunts. If you know baseball, an analogy, people are always out here doing bunts. Bunts is like a simple motion. You're never going to hit a home run with a bunt. It's always going to be in the infield. You can barely get to first base. but too many people are in that race where they're bunting like crazy. You get it? So today, we're talking about burnout and the concept of burnout and why it's a problem for you and does it really exist? And I'm going to give you some tips as to how to overcome this. So in the last segment, we talked about why burnout happens to a lot of people. And just to reiterate for those who are jumping in here late, the reason we have burnout is plain and simple. You've lost your purpose. You've lost the reason for doing what you're supposed to be doing. Whatever your purpose was, it wasn't greater than yourself. Okay? Your purpose can't be another person. Your purpose can't be, a task that's attainable in your lifetime. Your purpose has to be greater than that. Why? Because if you can't pass what you're supposed, if you reach whatever you consider the purpose was to be, what is next? What happens after that? And too often we struggle because we're not thinking about what the next steps or the next level is of our lives. Make sense? Now, one thing I'd want you to do when it comes to dealing with burnout and stress, if it's possible, I want you to do the first thing is reevaluate why you do what you're doing. Is it a family? Is it legacy? Is it to help a community? Is it to build your business so you can help others, so you can help charity? Whatever it is, you need to be able to reevaluate it and know exactly why you do what you do, and know why you started to begin with. So in essence, it serves as a reminder as to why you're doing what you're doing. Too often we get caught up in the noise of life, and we don't end up reminding ourselves of why. So when people who are in the Economics Academy, if you're not familiar, Economics Academy is one of our 6-week training, or I say training, but 6-week programs where entrepreneurs who are established in service-based industries come in, and we go through a 6-week weekly training plus Q&A where you walk through the process of setting and raising your prices, identifying your products, your services, getting clarity in your target, and then eventually ending up to teaching you how to use sales funnels and how to use Facebook ads to find new customers and clients. Now, the whole purpose of that is at the end, there's a purpose. At the end of that whole program, there's a purpose. And as a result of that, when you're hitting ebbs and flows, you can reevaluate. One of the things we do is we teach you how to reevaluate your purpose and why you started. Because if you can't do that, your brain is going to tell you to stop. Your brain is going to convince you that it's not a good idea. And there are a lot of studies that talk about this. A lot of great people like Martin Seligman, who's behavioral scientist. And one of his most important studies was about learned helplessness and how we learn to be helpless over time. And we allow circumstances to convince us that what we want to accomplish is not possible. That makes sense? So the first step, I need you to do this for me when it comes to reevaluating and finding your purpose, is literally go back and think about why you started to begin with. The second thing is you need to establish a core group. And mentors may be too strong, but a core group of support. That can be the person you're with. That may not be the person you're with. That could be a friend. That may not be a friend. Not everybody has the same journey. Okay? So when you're in a place where you're second guessing yourself and you think you're tired and you're burning out, you've lost your purpose. You don't know what the end's supposed to look like for you. So you start second guessing your reasons for starting. So let me just backtrack before we continue. The reason why this happens is your brain wants to minimize time and energy. This is an evolutionary psychological principle. Guys like Gad Saad or Jordan Peterson or a bunch of other behavioral scientists and evolutionary psychologists, Dr. David Buss. So what we do is, as human beings, we haven't really evolved over the last several thousand years. So what we do is we minimize time and energy. Here's an example. If I gave you a shovel and said, I'm going to pay you $3 an hour, and it's going to take you 6 hours to dig a big ditch, you're not going to do it because in your mind, you believe you can make money doing something else. And so it's too much of a waste of your resources to dig this ditch, right? So when your brain realizes that whatever you're being asked to do, there are better ways to do it, easier ways to do it, and it's not worth the results, then you're going to procrastinate. You won't do what you're supposed to do. You'll start stepping back saying, I can't do this, I won't do this, and you won't do the things that you want to do. Do the things that you need to do for that particular task. Okay? So when you reach a level of burnout, your brain is telling you the results aren't worth the effort today. That's why you have to go back and remind yourself as to why you started and what your results are supposed to look like. And in my case, I do that every single day. If you can't see it, I have on my wall here in my home office, I have literally big, tall presentation sheets of reminders of what I'm doing, my goals, my missions, my purpose, why I'm here, why I'm on this planet, whose lives I'm supposed to help. When I get emails from people weekly who read my book in other countries, and they're telling me this changed my life, page 36 changed my life, this page did, or this thought, now I think this is possible, or whatever it is, I hear these things and it reminds me as to why I started. So when I feel like quitting or doing something else, I'm instantly reminded as to why I should be doing what I'm doing. So go back and revisit why you started and reevaluate your purpose. Find a support group of people who can help you through this process. It may be a Facebook group, maybe a group of people who are like-minded in a variety of different ways, maybe a friend you play sports with, whatever it is. That person should understand the journey as well. Otherwise, they're going to convince you, just like your brain, to quit, right? And in some cases, you should quit, but it should come from a person who has the experience, not from somebody who's just projecting their fears, okay? The third most important thing you should be doing is you have to unequivocally take massive amounts of action. And I'm going to tell you this quick story, and then when we come back from break, I'm going to continue the story. Actually, you know what? The last one, massive action, we'll talk about this in the next break. And then we'll also take calls or people who want to jump in and share their stories of burnout and how they overcame it. Again, the lines are open. We'd love for you to jump in and share your quick message, quick story to the audience. But real quick, I'm going to tell you a quick story about this book as to how massive amounts of actions not only got me this book, but also got me to play professional basketball. Also got me into college/university. If you're familiar with, in the U.S., we call it college. And all those things together was consistency throughout my life. So anything I've been successful in, I followed that same blueprint, that same pattern, that same roadmap. Hasn't been the same. So stay tuned. When we come back from break, we're going to revisit these, and I'm going to share with you massive action and the importance of why you need to take it. So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Tired of clients that nickel and dime you? The only reason you're not earning more is because you're not charging enough. I know you may be thinking, but won't my customers complain? They won't, especially if you know what to say. Now, for a limited time, get access to my pricing training masterclass with up to 4 hours of top quality content. Want to charge more for your amazing service and find awesome clients? You know what to do. Click the link below and get your seat for this masterclass. This has helped so many entrepreneurs to set and raise their prices, triple, quadruple their income, and increase their profit margin. There's no reason why you should leave money on the table. Now, this is an opportunity for you to invest in yourself, your business, and also increase your revenue. So sign up today. Welcome back to EKAnomics TV, episode 5. Are you experiencing burnout? How to overcome burnout? Does burnout really exist? In economics, you focus on your mission, your mindset, and your money, and the congruency of those 3 particular areas. And without congruency in those 3 areas, the likelihood of you being successful, having the life you want, tends to go down the tubes. All right. So this is your host, Abong Eka. Every single week, I come here to help you, right, in your business, in your life, to make sure we put those 2 things together so you can have cohesiveness in your success and what you're doing. Besides being a CPA, certified public accountant, I'm also the international best-selling author of Start Me Up, the No Business Plan. I'm also a certified professional coach. I work with businesses and business owners to show them the blueprint to getting clarity in their business, setting and raising their prices, and eventually finding new customers and clients through strategic digital marketing strategies. We do this through the EKAnomics Academy and Eka Digital Media. Now, today we're talking about burnout and the concept of burnout. In the last segment, I shared with you there's 3 tips, but I shared with you the 2 tips as to the importance of understanding how to overcome burnout if you experience it. The first is revisiting and reevaluating your purpose and why you started to begin with. Why did you start this journey? Why are you going through this mishigas, this nonsense of stuff in your life if you don't know what the end is? I told you, your brain is trying to convince you you're wasting your time because you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. That's where that term came from. The light at the end of the tunnel is reminding you that there's something out there at the end of it. Too often, anything of value that's worth anything of value is always going to be longer than the tunnel that you're in, and you won't be able to see that. So you have to look at the light. Think about the light at the end of the tunnel. Why do you start this to begin with? The second thing is you have to have a support group of people, not only through books, not only through watching me today or watching videos or being parts of other things that are complementary or further away from you. I'm talking about people in your life who understand your journey and support your journey. You need to have that. If you don't have that, the likelihood of you sticking to whatever it is that you want to do in your life tends to diminish. How many people do you know who had an idea for something and then they were talked out of it by parents, a loved one, a friend? All that stuff happens all the time. Maybe somebody would have had a cure for cancer had they not been talked out of trying something new. Every single thing that you use today, somebody told them that idea was crazy. I've had friends who were told that their ideas were crazy and they ended up switching it and turning it around and it became successful. Why? They believed in their mission, but they also had other people who were there to support them and engage them. The last one, number 3. So first, like I said, evaluate or reevaluate why you started and your purpose. The second, get a nice support group of people who not yes men, people who support you, right? Who understand the journey and give you actual useful feedback based on their experiences, not on their fears and on their mindset and their nonsense. The third is massive action. Massive action can overcome a lot of emotional issues when it comes to your entrepreneurial journey, right? When you're doing a lot of things in a particular purpose, not just work to work, not just hustle to hustle. I mean, you're hustling for something specific. Every action you take has specificity in its result. Okay, so here's an example. I'll tell you a quick story about the book Start Me Up. What people don't realize is this took me about 2.5 years to get this publishing deal. I've always wanted to be traditionally published, and I worked really hard to get traditionally published. And it was a nightmare going through all this. And every single day I would write proposals and queries. The way it works is a query is a one-pager of who you are and your book idea and why it needs to be written. And every single day, every other day, every single day, every other day, I would send a message to a literary agent, a publisher, somebody in the industry, and I got a whole bunch of no's. Actually, I'm saying I got a whole bunch of no's, but the reality is when nobody answers you, that's a no. So I had a lot of people who didn't answer me. I had probably over 90% of the people who I sent emails and information to didn't answer me. I had a few people who humored me, asked me a few questions. I met with 1 or 2 literary agents, and at the end they're like, no, it's not going to work. It's been done or it hasn't been done or nobody cares, any of that stuff. And then what ended up happening was this. You got to understand something. I've been doing this for 2.5 years or so. I ended up getting an email from somebody who was a literary agent, and she said, I have a publisher who may be interested in you, and they want you to write a book about accounting. And I did not want to write a book about accounting. I wasn't interested in writing a book about accounting. I wanted to write a book about entrepreneurship. And so I said, no, I'm not interested. But I said, this is the idea that I have. She took it back to this publisher, one of the largest business book publishers in the country. And she took it back to them and they said, maybe we're interested. And then she signed me. And after that, they said no. So at that time, I was very despondent. I was depressed. I was like, why am I going through all this nonsense? Why am I going through all this shit? Why am I wasting 3 years of my life, right? 2 years of my life writing all this stuff only to be told no? I was so tired. I could not see the light at the end of the tunnel. I had a great conversation with one of my good friends. If you watch a TV show, Hoarders, his name is Matt Paxton, one of the stars of Hoarders, a cleaning consultant. He's been on there for over a decade. Now he has a new company doing something else. But he was on that show. He's one of the cleaning consultants. His company was Clutter Cleaners. A great guy. We talked probably once a month, but he had a great conversation. He was my support. And he reminded me of a story. He told me of a story that he went through for something very similar, of some TV ideas and some things he had been working on. And he was told, no, it wasn't going to work. He said, no, it's not going to work. And they told him it wasn't going to work. And the thing that he thought, he hit like sort of like a rock bottom. And then he said soon after that, once he became peaceful with it and he got feedback from somebody and he'd done what he's supposed to do, within weeks, Everything that he thought wasn't going to happen ended up happening, like almost like a snap of the fingers. I said, okay, cool. I needed to hear that. I appreciate it. Thanks. And I kid you not, within 10 days of that conversation, I got an email and a call from my literary agent, and she said, good news, we got a deal. And they gave me the money that I wanted. And then I was ecstatic. I was emotional. And then after that, I said, okay, so what's the bad news? She said, the bad news is they want you to write a 65,000 word manuscript in 3 months. I said, that's not bad news at all. That's whatever. And so I got to work. And in the middle of that, I was already working. I had a big client I was working 10-hour days for this particular client. So I'd work 10 hours, come home, and spend the next 5 hours writing my manuscript. You got to understand it. The 3 things that I followed with burnout, I was so tired from working the regular client and not getting any movement in my book deal. You got to understand the massive action piece was huge. So I had to revisit why I started. I had a support group in Matt, and eventually I had to take massive action to make this work. But the reason why I was able to write this 65,000 word manuscript in 3 months is because I've been writing 20,000 word proposals for the last 2 years. This was par for the course. You understand what I'm saying? And so because I had that muscle built up, I had that inner muscle built up, it made it easier for me to do these kinds of things and to be able to perform when I needed to. So as we wrap up the show, I want to thank you guys for being here today. It doesn't look like we have anybody calling in today. Look, this is a great opportunity for you to come in, share your thoughts, share your message, and get some feedback from people who love you. You have an opportunity to call in right now before we wrap up the show. There it is right there on the screen. Call in. If you're watching this live, this is the only way you can come in live. Obviously, if you're watching the replay, that's not going to work because no one will be here to answer your call. But I would love to have you on here right now while you're here. Love to get your thoughts about burnout. Love to get how you overcame your version of burnout and what you struggled with in doing so. You got to understand something simple. Burnout happens to everybody, but I really sincerely believe burnout primarily happens because you've lost your purpose. You don't know why you started. You don't know why you're doing what you're doing. You don't know what the end's supposed to look like. And if you don't have those things, that's gonna be a complete problem. All right. So I want to thank you for watching today. I don't think we have a guest in today. Oh, we do. Streaming live here. Oh, hey, we got we got Gabe Muller. That is awesome. Hey, I really appreciate you jumping in here. Thank you so much, Mr. Muller. Always a pleasure. You were awesome. Thank you so much. Hey, good to see you, Tella. I appreciate you being here today as well. Great to see the comments on the screen, people who are watching. You know, I'd love to hear your thoughts about burnout. Is this something that you've been through, something that you've actually struggled with? Great to see you too, Matt Crane. You are awesome. I appreciate you and Jeremy, what you guys are doing. You guys have always been a supportive group for me in the things that I'm doing. Matt works with Jeremy Warner, who basically runs Rush Impact Media. They're a media company based in North Carolina. Do a lot of great things, automotive in the automotive space, but also in other spaces as well. So if you want to learn more about what they do, you can go check them out. Guys, a few more things I want to mention with you before we roll out of here as we wait for people to try and call in. If you're free, we're only going to be up for another minute or so. I want to remind you of something. EKAnomics Academy is about to open up again. If you're not familiar with the EKAnomics Academy, it's very simple. We work with service-based entrepreneurs, those who sell a service, not a product, but a service. And we help them get clarity with their product, with their service, and turn it into a product, right? We help them get clarity with that, help them identify their ideal target market, and then we show them how to raise their prices. One example of a salon coach, Kim, who literally was able to raise her prices almost 1,000% actually, and she got it like that. And that's when I told her, I said, now you know that you probably could have charged more for where you are. But the thing is this is not the number. You have to understand something about pricing. It's never the number. When it comes to pricing a service, it's about the value you bring to the customer and how comfortable you are and confident you are about that particular value. That's what matters. And so we teach you how to create that for yourself. We also show you how to create a system to deliver this content that you're going to share with your particular customer. And I'm going to show you how to find customers who want to do business with you and then close them so that you can close them in the sale, not feel out of sorts. Even if you hate selling, you hate social media, we show you how to do that in the EKAnomics Academy. All right. And then we have a lot of other programs that are coming through the pike. We train realtors, we train service-based professionals, people in the financial industry, mortgage brokers, those who are looking to get clients and customers. We show them exactly how to do it themselves, or we do it for them. Some of the products we do in Eka Digital Media. Now, if you want to learn more about me, you can go to abongeka.com. You can send me an email at info@abongeka.com. And also, I didn't mention this before. If you are in business and you're looking to raise your prices, if you're looking to find new customers and clients and create literally a digital marketing suite of things for you in order to find new customers on repeat, to have them come in, it's a flow of leads. What I want to do is I want to have a conversation with you. You can just send me a quick email at info@abongeka.com, and you can also, let's see. You can also make an appointment to talk to us on the phone and to learn more about what we do. I would love to have you. Love to have a quick conversation. That's about it. The whole goal is to answer your questions about your challenges and show you how we would change that for you. Right? This is the first one that I've been. Oh, one more thing before we roll out of here. We're gonna roll out here in about 30 seconds to a minute. I want to give a quick shout out. An amazing shout out who made this particular broadcast possible is Jason Pennington, an amazing guy. Met him on Blab about a year or 2 years ago through one of a Blab I was hosting. I think I can't remember what I was doing on Blab, but he jumped on there. Jason is going to be a guy I'm going to be working with in the future, but also when we do we're in the middle, we're going to do a virtual summit of winning entrepreneurs, amazing entrepreneurs. It's going to be the Economic Virtual Summit. Jason's going to be one of the guys on there. I think I mentioned this to him. And just for those who don't know who Jason is, besides being a wizard with video content and blog content and just multimedia, digital media, phenomenal on that. This guy's also a Facebook ad wizard. He himself and him and the company he works with and the companies he's running, they've done millions of dollars in revenue in his products that he sells on Facebook. Also Canadian brethren of mine as well. Phenomenal guy. I can't thank him enough for what you guys were able to see here today. He is the sole reason you're seeing this particular broadcast in the manner in which you're seeing it. He's the main reason why this is happening. So I want to give a shout out to him. If you see him on the internet, give him a shout out. Follow his stuff. He runs Ecom Live, which is another group for people who do e-commerce online, Shopify, and other online products using Facebook and stuff like that. The guy's a wizard. Tremendous amounts of information. And I've learned so much from him and knowing him in the last year and a half or so. So with that said, I want to thank you guys for being here. Every single Tuesday, I come to you to share with you information to help you grow your business, to help you grow your life, and focus on your mission, your mindset, and your money. And the only reason you can get to a level of prosperity and progress and purpose is because we focus on those three particular areas. Remember, burnout doesn't exist. You just lost your purpose. Today, my goal is to show you how to get that purpose back. I will see you next week. Like, share, subscribe, and let's join the movement and get our lives together. I'm going to help you. I want to help you. I believe in you, and we're all in this together. And the money that you want, there are only 3 reasons why. You haven't focused on your mission, your mindset, and your money. I'm Abong Eka, and besides being a best-selling author, CPA, and leadership small business champion, I show everyday people how to take their ideas, create valuable products and services, raise their prices, and get raving customers that can't wait to do business with them. And I do all of those in 4 simple steps. I want to help you. I want to change your life. I want to change your relationships. I want to change your business. And these are the principles of economics, and you're watching EKAnomics TV.